I am Brother Sergeant Tiberius, 3rd Company. We had just emerged victorious from a brutal battle against the orcs, wretched green skin filth, and the ground was littered with the bodies of our foes. We have left nothing but mangled and obliterated bodies of their kind. The air was thick with the stench of death and destruction, and the sky was a deep shade of crimson as the sun began to set. Blood was spilled. As we gathered the spoils of war, I noticed that my brothers were collecting some Xenos that still drew breath, bodies destroyed by our bolts but deliberately kept alive. We made sure it took time. We used blades, slowly. Made sure the thing couldn't scream but it could feel. Our blades made the blood of our fallen enemies in small vials after hours of much-deserved pain. I knew what this meant. It was time for the offering. We are the scythes of Robut Guilliman, our Primarch, and the wrath of the Emperor. Our name stems from blood and tradition. Enemy's life. Blood is about dedicating it as an offering to our Gene Father and the Emperor both. It is our way that has been passed down from generation to generation of warriors, and one that we take as our own now, as we are the keepers of its secrets. As we made our way back to our fortress monastery, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and satisfaction. We had fought bravely and emerged victorious against what it seemed as an endless green tide. We crushed them, we left Krieg to do the mop-up, and now we would offer our enemy's blood to our Primarch and the Emperor as a sign of our devotion and loyalty, a warrior's tribute. When we arrived at the fortress monastery, we made our way to the chapter's inner sanctum. There we knelt before the altar of the Emperor and offered up the vials of blood. As we did so, we poured the blood of the filthy Xenos we destroyed in the altar. It flows as it should. The blood of the enemy must flow like a river as the innocent keeps clean. We recited the ancient prayers and incantations that have been passed down through the ages. When the offering was complete, I felt a sense of contentment wash over me. I knew that we had done our duty and that our Primarch and the Emperor would be pleased with our offering. As I promised, the blood of the enemy will flow throughout wherever we go. There will no escape for those who threat the throne or its servants. As we made our way back to our quarters, I couldn't help but reflect. We had fought and emerged victorious, and now we had offered up our enemy's blood to our Primarch and the Emperor. It was a day that I would never forget, and one that would be remembered for generations to come. The history is made with iron or blood. We'll make sure there is always more blood. The Xenos know we are coming. Welcome back, my friends. What did you think about my short story? Today, we're going to explore the history of the LIBATORS Space Marine chapter. These brutal and uncompromising warriors are amongst the most feared sons of Robut Guilliman. So, grab your some snacks and join us as we delve into the history of this mysterious chapter and its mysteries. The LIBATORS are a completely unique but controversial Space Marine chapter and a second founding successor chapter of the Ultramarines. The LIBATORS are amongst the more brutal and uncompromising of the scions of Robut Guilliman. Their name stems from their practice of letting their foes' blood and dedicating it as an offering to their Primarch and the Emperor both. The chapter has faced censure on several occasions for its treatment of captive enemy commanders and champions, who in the LIBATORS' eyes make for the worthiest offerings. The LIBATORS have been involved in several notable campaigns, including the Carthago Crusade and the Third War for Damnos. The Carthago Crusade was launched to bring stability to the Carthago sector, which had been severely weakened by the Badab War. The LIBATORS sent 3 of their battle companies to support a full-fledged crusade of Black Templars and the 5th Battle Company of the Star Phantoms Chapter 1. The Third War for Damnos began when an invasion force of the Necron Sarachan dynasty descended upon Damnos during the era Indomitus. The Ultramarines were engaged in a number of major conflicts of the era, including the Indomitus Crusade, the Plague Wars, and the War of Beasts. With most of their strength utilized elsewhere, the chapter had few Astartes to spare to help the besieged world. Nonetheless, the chapter had given too much previously in Damnos' defense to abandon it, and a small strike force of Ultramarines and several regiments of the Ultramar Auxilia were sent to aid it. The chapter knew that the forces that had been deployed to Damnos would be insufficient to defeat the Necrons, and so requested aid from their allies in different chapters. Their requests were answered, and when the Ultramarines arrived at Damnos, they were joined by contingents from several successor chapters, including the Ironhounds, Brazen Consuls, and LIBATORS. The combined might of these Adeptus Astartes, however, was not enough to defeat the invading Sarachan dynasty, whose forces were numberless. This was due to the undying Xenos arriving in their thousands by tomb ships and through a dolmen gate to ensure they reconquered Damnos. And that's it for our exploration of the LIBATORS. I hope you enjoyed learning about these brutal warriors and their exploits in the Carthago Crusade and the Third War for Damnos. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting Warhammer 40K content. Until next time, keep the light of the Emperor burning, my friends.